He's a former Savannah police detective with a complicated past and extensive knowledge of the homicide division at the SPD. Now Kevin Grogan talking about his time on the force, as well as some of the cases that have stuck with him. In a new book, No Greater Honor, No Greater Failure, Grogan talked to me about why these cases were so important to him and to Savannah even now.
Names that are on those tombstones in the back, those are the people who get killed out here, unfortunately, way too often in this city. And they're names that if I don't bring them up, they'll be forgotten.
These are not the ones that made the headlines by any means.
No, but they're the ones that stuck with me the most. And like if their names are on there, it took a huge personal toll.
What is so different in your mind about the homicide side as opposed to every other crime?
Well, I mean, look at the way we measure the effectiveness of a police department. It nationwide is the clearance rate of your homicide unit. You know, and it's the pinnacle of police work. When you're a homicide investigator, you are doing the most important, most sacred work. You know, that's where the no greater honor in the title comes from, is the homicide investigator's creed essentially says that there's no greater honor than being able to speak for the dead. I always tell young officers, people who want to go into police work and that kind of stuff, if you don't truly care about people, don't go into this line of work. And when you get into homicide, that is magnified exponentially. It's just one of those things where if you don't connect to the case, you're not going to stay up for 3 days straight trying to figure out who did this thing. And most of where you get your information is from people in the community. You know, trying to get the one thing that shocked me about homicide that I never in a million years would have imagined is you spend at least 3 times more trying to break a witness than you ever do a suspect. Because people don't want to come forward with, in today's day and age, you know, I've said it a bunch of times, it's more acceptable to be a killer in our society than it is to be a snitch. Our police department isn't engaging as aggressively in the neighborhoods, so they don't know. They haven't identified who these people were. Back in 2006 and again in 2010, it was all intelligence-led. We knew everybody. We talked to everybody. We knew who the trigger pullers were. We knew, you know, didn't know exactly which ones they had done, but we knew how to identify them. And more importantly, they knew us. And that was something that, you know, it's a constant chess match of, okay, how far can we push? Problem is, how do you rebuild trust in a community? And that's what's not happening now. Pardon me, they're doing it wrong. Okay, and it's hard to say that, but it's true. So you have coffee with cops, you have your community engagement team, and you're going out. So you're going to a neighborhood association meeting, and you're going to talk to, well, who are you talking to? You're talking to the grandparents, you're talking to taxpayers who have a bone to pick with whatever ordinances are a problem and things. You're not dealing with what our real problem is, and that's violent crime. Because the people there who have family members who are out there committing crime, they're not bringing them in to say, hey, let's hash this out and talk. The only way you're going to do that is on these street corners, is by making contact with each and every individual you know that's involved in that and figure out a way there.